is this Surfer Boy Pizza? Yes, I would like to place an order for one of your specials that you have, the jalapeno pineapple pizza. And I just have one question. Is the pineapple canned or fresh? It's canned? Ah, bummer. I'll just order it anyway. So how long will that take? An hour? Oh, I see. Okay, alright then. In an hour, my pizza will be here. Alright, thank you so much. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I was just ordering some pizza from the Surfer Boy Pizzeria. Before the pizza arrives, I'm just going to discuss my overall review of what I thought of the new season of Stranger Things, Volume 1, because it's split into 2 volumes. This season takes place in 1986, and unlike the previous seasons where everyone was in Hawkins, we have Eleven, Joyce, and Jonathan and Will who are residing in California. The rest of the kids like Mike, Lucas, Dustin, Max, and everyone else is still in Hawkins, and it's a whole new entire look for all of the characters because they're a lot older now. The kids are a lot older in high school right now, and they're tackling a lot of social issues far away in Russia. We have Hopper, who was kidnapped by some KGB agents, and he's placed into this internment prison camp, and he's trying so desperately to get out and return back home with Joyce. There's a lot going on in this season. There's a new villain, and his name is VECNA. But before we talk about VECNA, let's talk about what I really liked about this season. The one new character that really stood out in this season was definitely Eddie Munson, who is the leader of the D&D club at Hawkins High, and he's also a metalhead. He's a really cool guy. He's an intellectual. I thought he was going to be another Billy, but then throughout the episodes he kind of showed his good side, that he has a good heart and he's here to help everyone else. So I'm definitely excited for the next part of what he's going to do, because he definitely is a wonderful addition to the Stranger Things cast, and I really do hope that he sticks around. The other new character that was really funny, like he's kind of like the comedic relief, it was Argyle. He's Jonathan's new stoner friend. He likes to give good advice to Jonathan because he's still in a relationship with Nancy even though she's far away from him. Argyle also works at the Surfer Boy Pizzeria, and he always has a ride. Another thing that I really liked about this season was the character development for Max. She was very traumatized about Billy's death because he passed away in the previous season, and she was dealing with a lot of trauma, and that kind of connects with the rest of the story, especially with VECNA, who does attack Max. He gets into her head and all. He tries to get her to commit suicide, and that obviously doesn't work. One of the best scenes of this season was that running up that hill scene where she tries to escape VECNA's hands, and I actually thought for a moment there that she was going to die, and she didn't, thank God, because Max is just too precious to die. She's definitely a very important character. Another thing that I liked about this season was that we got to know more about Eleven's past. It turns out that she had a bit of a friendship with the assistant there, is actually VECNA. It kind of reminds me of the whole Tom Riddle Harry Potter story. Obviously Eleven is the superhero and VECNA is the monster. It was also very surprising to see that she was bullied in the laboratory, because I always thought that she was bullied outside of the laboratory, but inside laboratory she was bullied by those kids because they were jealous of her because she had more power. VECNA takes her under his wing. Both want the same thing. They want freedom. They want to leave the lab. I was asking, like, what does he want from her? Why is he teaching her all the secrets of the lab? And then it turns out that he also has powers too. The difference between him and Eleven is that he uses his powers for evil and she uses hers for the good. Very interesting sequence to see how it all came together, how that memory helped her unlock another memory. Another thing that I liked in this season was Steve and Robin's friendship. They have so much chemistry together even though they're not romantically affiliated. It was really interesting to see how Nancy interacted with Robin. I think they also make a great pair as well because they were going around town. They were asking questions about Victor Creel, who was played by Robert Englund. He's the same guy who played Freddy Krueger in all the Freddy Krueger movies. He's a legend. He played Victor Creel, who's this mentally ill guy who supposedly killed his entire family, which wasn't really true because we all know that it was actually his son, Henry Creel, aka VECNA, who did that. The final thing that I liked about this season was the whole Joyce and Murray and Hopper thing over there in Russia. Joyce and Murray get into a bit of problems going to Alaska in order to get the guy, Yuri, to fly them over to Russia so they can get Hopper out of the prison camp that he's in. But unfortunately, Yuri turns out to be a backstab. And it was a really funny moment when Murray uses his karate skills to beat the crap out of Yuri, and it was hilarious. He also had to impersonate him as well. He had to pretend to be Yuri in order to get himself into the camp, and luckily he knew Russian. And I also really love the scene where there's a Demogorgon. The Russians took a Demogorgon from last season and they put it into their internment camps so they can kill off the prisoners. Of course, Hopper already has experience dealing with Demogorgons. Now, I'm going to discuss what I didn't like about this season. They pulled another Bard on us, especially with Chrissy, who was the cheerleader of Hawkins High. It really sucks because I actually thought she and Eddie were gonna get together and become a couple because they actually had chemistry in that scene where he was doing a drug deal and she needed the drugs to kind of cope with her mental illness because I think she had like an eating disorder. She got killed by VECNA. VECNA targets people who have trauma. When you think that a character has potential, it just completely destroys hope for you. Another thing that I didn't like about this season was the Alpha Ken guy who's called Jason, the guy who's the leader of the basketball team, and he gets all his minions, and in this case they put all the blame on Eddie, who they supposedly think is the perpetrator of killing Chrissy and the rest of the victims. They all start rioting against him and it's just really stupid. Another thing that I didn't like about this season was the whole Eleven getting bullied by the girl in her high school named Angela. It was starting to get on my nerves, especially how bitchy she was to Eleven. She actually fought back and she hit Angela with the roller skate. Mike actually comes to visit Eleven in California. He goes to the roller skating rink with her, and Will actually is like an awkward third wheel. Please, Duffer Brothers, just give Will a girlfriend. Last thing about this season that really bugged me was the whole love triangle with Jonathan, Steve, and Nancy. Because Steve and Nancy are working close together in this season, the feelings are starting to catch up again. Steve is starting to feel something for her and she's starting to feel something for him, even though they were boyfriend and girlfriend a long time ago and they ended it, and now all of a sudden those feelings are coming back. It's so annoying because I'm asking in my mind, who is she going to choose? Is she going to choose Steve? Is she going to choose Jonathan? In my sincerest opinion, I think that a major character is going to die in the last 2 episodes of this season. I think it's going to be Steve because he's going to sacrifice himself to save everybody, to save Nancy, to save the kids, to save basically Hawkins. It's really sad to see Steve go, but you know what they say, this show is very cruel. Obviously, I think Eleven is going to defeat VECNA. Hopper is going to come back just in time and he's going to reunite with Eleven again and everything's going to be fine. And I also feel like there's going to be a cliffhanger at the end of this entire season. I'm very shocked that Stranger Things is going to have the 5th and final season because I thought this show was going to have more than that. And I also feel like there's going to be a huge time jump from this season to the next one. So maybe the next season will take place in 1989. I really enjoyed this season very much, more than the previous seasons, because this season has more horror elements to it. They were really inspired by A Nightmare on Elm Street. Just seeing Vecna's origin story as he turned from that boy who was Victor Creel's son to this evil, inhumane monster that Dr. Brennan took into his laboratory. It's just, it's spine-tingling. I'm really excited to see how Eleven is going to defeat VECNA. It's going to be an epic battle, that's for sure. Well, look at the time. My pizza's going to arrive soon, but you guys are going to see the pizza in the next part of my review for Volume 2. And one more thing, I'm going to be unboxing a mystery vinyl figure from this season. This is the box. That's the back. Oh my god! It's a rare 11! I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 1. Stick around for the next part for Volume 2. We're gonna have a huge pizza party. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!